10 of the craziest cases on live court shows in America. Rule number 1. Never mess with Judge Judy. Hello YouTube and welcome to the most entertaining channel. Today we will share 10 of the craziest couples on Judge Judy. Stay tuned to the end if you need to have your ribs cracking. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Let's get it going. 10. Vandalized ex-girlfriend's car. Seth Apodaca is one hilarious guy. He came on the show with his ex-girlfriend who was suing him for vandalizing her car. When he was asked about it, he was quick to admit it and explain everything. I put 3 bricks through her windows and had paintballed the exterior. This man had no shame at all. He continued saying he would do it again if he had the chance to. So what really triggered this? The two had been broken up for a whole year, but Seth found out that she had moved on and the vandalism was his reaction. Judge Judy proceeded to ask if he had sought some therapy as something was clearly not right with him. He said no, and she advised he should see a psychiatrist, to say the least. He was a sad man who wasn't over his ex and a clear threat to her. He ended up being forced to pay $900 in damages. Love triangles get messy, but the scene coming right up is the messiest love triangle I have ever seen. 9. Messy trio. This court was about to turn into a classic Jerry Springer case. Haley and Robert had been married for years, but their relationship just wasn't working out. They came to court to see if their issues could be resolved, but things didn't turn out so well. Apparently, the two had just been together intimately 3 weeks ago. Robert had told her several times that he wanted them to fix their marriage and was ready to do whatever it took to have them both happy together. Sounds great, right? But the only problem is that he had another girlfriend that he was currently living with. Her name is Tiffany, and she was also present in court when all of this chaos was happening. This man told the court that despite having a girlfriend, he was still madly in love with his wife. I don't get it. Everyone could see the pain in her eyes. There's nothing as painful as loving someone who's out there dogging around with other women. In order to make a relationship work, 2 people have to make compromises and also understand each other's needs. But what do you do when your better half wants the impossible? Watch what this crazy wife is demanding from her husband. 8. Insane demands. Things get a little crazy in this court. Everyone in the room is in absolute shock with what these 2 couples had to say. So Natalie, Eric's wife, wanted her husband to make love to her 6 times a day. You heard that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. At first, everyone thought it must be a joke, because how is this even possible? When do they get to work and do other things? But it wasn't. Natalie says she finally found a man who satisfies her emotionally, physically, and mentally, and didn't see anything wrong with demanding intercourse that many times a day. Well, her husband, who was 42 years old at the time, looked exhausted. The two had even tried to resort to being swingers to satisfy Natalie's drive, but Eric wasn't up for it. Even Judge Lynn couldn't find a solution for them. She just wished them the best of luck. Exes are a no-go zone. If you don't believe this, here's why. 7. The Demon Child Ex. Victoria Harris, a 22-year-old hairdresser, was often referred to as a demon child by Charlize throughout the court session. Apparently, she had done everything in her power to sabotage her relationship and her life. This includes going to her workplace, causing a great scene, and having her fired. It was clear to see why she had that nickname. See, this woman didn't care about anything but having intimacy with her then ex who was dating Charlize at the moment. When she was asked why she did all this, she said she didn't want her ex back, she just wanted a night with him. When Judge Lynn asked her if it felt right to have a fellow black woman with a young child lose her source of income, she never flinched. When the man who was causing all this drama started talking, the audience went crazy. He said they could both have him, implying polygamy was his solution to this chaos. Some episodes make you wonder how some people reason. I still can't believe what the next guy did. 6. More marital issues. Ramel reasons like a 2-year-old. Him and Alexa, his wife, went to court to try and resolve their issues. It was so hilarious that the audience was shocked that a grown man with a child and one more on the way would act as he did. It's quite normal for couples to argue, but Ramel's solution to the confrontations is what shocked everyone. Whenever they would argue, he would go to social media to explicit chat rooms and expose his genitals. He would take pictures of his privates and share them there. So this was his way of solving arguments. He argued that he was in no way having an affair, as he was not going to meet any of the girls in the chat rooms. Judge Lynn gave this man a reality check and told him that he had to lose his bad habits or lose his wife. Would you get married to a stripper? Find out what Latreille did to his stripper fiancée. 5. Stripper love. This show has no filters. It exposes exactly what couples go through in real life and doesn't leave any itty-bitty detail out. Latreille Willis fell in love with a stripper and asked her to marry him. Well, she said yes, but they're not so sure why they want to walk down the aisle, and here's why. So Brandy is a stripper, and that's the root of all their issues. Latreille believes that every time she goes to work, she is probably having relations with other men. Brandy says that is her only source of income, and she would rather dance for $900 a day rather than work at a fast food restaurant that pays $7 to $25 an hour. I bet it must be hard thinking your fiancé is out there entertaining other men, but Latreille knew what he was getting into when he proposed, so he better accept the reality sooner rather than later. Ever watch a show and go, "What did I just see?" That's exactly what's coming right up. Brace yourself, this one is completely ridiculous. 4. Custody of wife. Taylor says he upgraded his wife's body, and now that they are divorcing, he wants his money back. He started with saying that when he met her, she was a box. Yes, he described his wife as a box with 4 sides and no curves. Who does that? So he made her change her body through surgery, and he got her upgraded, as he calls it. He went on complaining that his wife wouldn't let him touch her in any way. His wife said she refused to let him, as it was the very first night she had come home from the surgery and she was still recovering. Her husband kept on saying he paid for the operation, so he should be allowed to do whatever he wants whenever. In addition to all this, he is also cheating on her. He met a lady in church called Sister Jones, and he has been having an affair with her for the longest time. The nerve of this man. He couldn't appreciate the fact that this woman went through so much to reconstruct her body for him. But Judge Lynn spoke some sense into this thick head. She told him that he may have paid for the costs, but he in no way owns her. This delusional man clearly got put into his own place and had the realest reality check. Thank God they are divorcing, because she clearly deserves better. Coming up next is one of the craziest situations that I have ever come across in my entire life. It's not even shocking. This is a whole new level of unbelievable. 3. Married after 60 days. Miriam and Eric have been married for 2 months, and already Eric's family is pushing him to get a divorce. Eric is 18 years old and just finished high school, while Miriam is 25 years old and has 2 kids from a previous relationship. Eric's family thinks he is too young for this, but Miriam believes he is her soulmate. They say 18-year-old Eric is too young to be married, and Miriam is just using them to take care of her 2 children. But all this is just the tip of the iceberg. Miriam is a nagging control freak. She refuses to let her husband get a ride from a colleague and forces him to walk almost an hour every day from work. She doesn't even allow him to have a smartphone. The reason why Eric's family is upset about their union is because they believe she is a crazy lunatic who is turning him against everyone. She has gotten into fights with her mother-in-law in front of other kids multiple times. It was clear to see the strong hate within this family. The family was also accused of borrowing money from Eric at the end of every month. Judge Lynn put everyone in their own place. Hopefully this family will take the advice. We've seen a lot of drama in this video, but none comes anywhere close to the craziness you're about to see. 2. Craziest love triangle. In 2010, this couple came onto the show, but for a different reason. Nortrice Banner was the side chick of Lauren Harper, who was married to another woman. In that show, he had taken his wife's ring and presented it to her as an engagement ring. Since then, they divorced, and Lauren, who was the side chick, was now the fiancée. It wasn't long before Mr. Harper came back to the show for new reasons. Lauren complains that when they moved in is when he found out who she really is. He said she was very controlling in that he controls every single aspect of his life and their home. She even went as far as controlling what channels will be watched on TV and even his own career. She books him in to sing funerals without his consent. Nortrice wants to end their relationship because he won't marry her. He has chickened out on 2 different occasions when they had set wedding dates. He admitted he's always getting cold feet because she is too controlling for him, and he isn't sure the commitment he is making will be forever. Just when the show was about to end, the first wife came in. Remember the first woman he was with before? Yeah. Her. She strolled right into the courtroom. Apparently, he was having an affair with his first wife, so she changed from wife to divorcee to side chick. And Nortrees changed from side chick to fiancé to ex-girlfriend. Trust me, it doesn't get crazier. Here's more drama. Get ready to be completely shocked. 1. Kavita versus Kevin. Kavita and Kevin have been married for the past 15 years, but they want to end it. There's not much happening in the bedroom at Kavita and Kevin's house, and Kavita believes that this has led to their separation. Kavita says her husband is a cheating mama's boy, and his mother is hooking him up with another woman. Turns out she wasn't wrong. The man had been dating someone else and even had her kid as his screensaver, and it was his mom that had introduced them. I have seen a lot of drama in the courtroom shows, but this takes the lead. The two, however, decided not to resolve their issues and divorce. Thanks for watching and have an excellent day.